Look at the bees in the yard. There are bees in the yard. Bees in the yard. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, so anyway, let's be personal. We King Out Barber on DVDs, TV Network 2. Okay, I found me a bag of goodies, okay? Now, you know, it's not true that, religious people have nothing and that they, broke and have to beg or this society is wrong and that, you know, they have to sin to get things and that they, aren't worth money and things like that. That's not true. God blesses us with things, and we have things. I live in this house, you know, and as I mature in my religion and in my profession, move on to things that I'm able to handle sinlessly. And when I'm able to handle the sins that have those things, and they'll still be saying, "Oh, you have nothing, you don't have anything, I'm better than you." And that's just them saying that they got whatever they got easier than I got, than the real folks got. That's all they're saying, and they're kind of expressing a fear that hey, if I become religious, then I will have nothing. You have everything, and you just have more and more and more afterward. You realize the worth of things, which is zero, and it will have no worth unless you work for it and earn it, and don't see it as being worth more than what you are worth. And that's really how that works. You have to start from the bottom, get knowledge, get peace, and start earning, through works, as faith without works is dead, and and soon you'll see your cup running over, and you won't let that become your worth, or let that become in your mind worth more than what you are worth, and that's really just what God gives you, and it's not really worth much. It could be worth millions, but it won't be worth much. It's just some things you have as God blesses you and tells you, hey, you're doing a good job, things like that, and you're here, to do God's work, and that's what's worth millions. So that's how that goes. This is everything I was always pointing out with everyone. A good and peaceful day.